back to my channel. It's Liesl back with another video. Today we are doing a baking video.
I mean, it's like kind of baking, but it's not because I bake everything beforehand. So it's like an assembly video. That doesn't sound as cool.
Today we're making cake pops or cake balls, however you decide to make them. And they're super cute and they're SpongeBob themed. And these resemble the jellyfish in the SpongeBob show, which are so cute. I had an Instagram follower request a how-to video on these cake pops that I made. If you guys want to see how to make these, just keep watching. I don't do the cake, I don't bake the cake or make the frosting on video because it would be like a 45-minute video if I did that. But if you guys would like to see how I make my chocolate cake and my chocolate frosting, I would love to make a video on that. So make sure to comment down below if you want to hear and see how to make that. So anyways, enough rambling on. If you guys want to see how to make this, just keep watching. All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna start off by crumbling up our cake. So this is my gluten-free chocolate cake. I made it gluten-free so my husband could eat these. So that's another awesome thing. If you guys want a recipe on that, I have that as well. And then this is just my typical chocolate buttercream frosting. It's delicious and amazing. Your hands are going to get very messy during this whole process. And I'm gonna set my frosting aside for a second. And we're gonna take our bowl. I'm gonna take my cake, and there's no right or wrong way to do this. That's kind of what I love about cake pops. And you can have your kids help you with this if they want to get their hands messy. It's kind of like playing in the dirt. And getting frosting all over. It's kind of fun. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna start off by crumbling up my cake. And like I said, this is such a fun such a fun process. And you can use gloves if you want.
But come on, let's be honest, it's way more fun without gloves.
And I'm just crumbling all of my cake up. And you just want it to get it to kind of just like an even crumble consistency. You don't want any huge chunks. Okay. Now I'm gonna get out my other cake, and this also depends on how many cake pops you wanna make. If you wanna make a ton, you'll need more cake and more frosting. If you only wanna make like 10, then this honestly would probably be the right amount. Also, you guys can use any combination of flavors of cake and frosting. You can do literally an infinite amount of combinations. You could do strawberry cake with cream cheese frosting. I'm just gonna add a little bit of frosting here and there just until I get it to the consistency that I want. And we're just gonna add a big dollop of frosting. And then is the fun part. We're gonna start mixing this all together. And as you can tell, it's starting to kind of clump together. You want it to be that kind of, not like a paste consistency, but you almost want it to be the consistency of frosting, like that kind of thickness. And that way you know that it's going to form together and you're not going to have any crumbs falling into your chocolate when you're dipping them. I think I want mine to be a little bit more crumbly, so I'm actually going to add a tiny bit more cake. I don't know if you can hear Mango in the background. He's busy walking all over everything on my kitchen table and making all sorts of noise. And you can add more cake, you can add less cake, really whatever you want to do. I might just add the rest of the cake, honestly. And I guess I'm not ending up using as much frosting as I thought. That also will depend on the consistency of your cake. If your cake is super moist, then you won't need very much frosting. All right, so there we go. So now we'll be able to roll them into balls and they'll still hold their shape and they'll be delicious and yummy. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get started making our cake balls or cake pops, whatever you end up wanting to do. So what I'm gonna do first, you were probably wondering why we had a cup earlier in the what you need shot, and that is for dipping your cake pops or cake balls. I promise you it's gonna be so much easier to do this in a cup than it is to do it in a bowl, because a bowl is a lot more wide and flat. A cup is tall and skinny. And so you're able to fill a lot, you're able to get your whole chocolate in there, dip the whole ball in there, and you're not gonna have to spoon it on top or anything. It's going to be able to just dump in the first time and you'll be good to go. I'm taking these Wilton candy melts. You can use white chocolate and color it yourself if you want. These are just so much easier to deal with, so I get these. And I'm just going to pop these into my cup. And then we're going to stick it into the microwave. Okay, so this is what it looks like after 1 minute of melting, and you can tell that it definitely melts down because we filled that whole cup and now it's not even halfway full with chocolate. I'm probably going to pop this back in the microwave for another 30 seconds or so until it's completely melted. Okay, so I'm back. That took about 20 seconds more because the cup is already pretty warm. So we have it all melted down now, and it's an even consistency. So we are ready to go. And you do kind of want it to cool down a little bit, so that's okay. It's good to do this part first so that you can have this chilling while you form your cake balls. Now, for this is the mold that I have, and I am going to link it down below. And this one is specifically made for cake pops. And so if you want to do cake pops, you can use this. You can also use this if you just want to use cake balls, and you will just have to kind of smooth over the edge where the stick goes in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by getting some chocolate cake in here. And you're going to have some overfill because you want to make sure that it fills up this half as well. And it's going to all squeeze out and it's going to be kind of messy, but it just continues with the theme of this project that it's just kind of messy to begin with. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to squish, 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 squish. See, it comes out of the holes, it comes out the sides. It's pretty messy, but it's pretty fun at the same time. And I'm just going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze so that we get a nice tight fit. And then I just kind of take the rest of the cake off of it. Now, when you lift it up, you're going to have even ball shapes. And see, one of them stuck to this side, and that's totally fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of roll these out with my hands, roll out the lines, and I'm going to stick them onto my plate. And you don't have to use this mold. You can just do it by hand and just eyeball it. Now what we're going to do is we are going to stick sticks in them. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get out my sticks and we're going to dip them in the chocolate, and then we're going to dip them into the cake balls. So these are just standard lollipop sticks that you can buy in the baking aisle or craft store or at Walmart or whatever. I got these at Walmart. And what you want to do first is dip the stick in the chocolate and kind of shake it off a little bit. And this is just going to help so that your cake pop or ball is going to stick to your lollipop stick. I also did some super cute SpongeBob sugar cookies when I made these for that client as well. So if you guys would like a how-to video on how to do those are pretty in-depth and they're pretty advanced. But I am willing to make them if you guys are curious how to make them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in the fridge for about 10 minutes until this chocolate is all hardened, and then we'll proceed with dipping them.
And sometimes your cake is going to fall off of your stick.
And this is an alternative for how you can do cake balls, is you can just use spoons and you can just scoop it in like that. And this is honestly easier, so I think I might actually do this. I know I'm giving you guys whiplash, but I'm not going to use the sticks anymore. I think I'm just going to do this. It is a little bit messier, and then dropping my cake ball into my cup. And in this instance, using a bowl would actually be a lot easier. But we already have a cup, so it's fine. And plop it onto my plate. And the thing that I like about this one, and the thing that my client liked about it, is she wanted it to have that little bit of gathering at the bottom of the cake ball to make it look like, you know, the jellyfish is flaring out. And then it can be a lot easier to add the strings at the end once it's like this, rather than trying to do it when it's on the stick. Okay, so now we're moving our styrofoam out of the way, and I'm going to pop these into the fridge so that the chocolate can harden completely, and then we will move on to doing our tentacles. Okay, so what I used for the tentacles, you can really use whatever you want. You can use those Twizzlers that pull apart. You can use those as the little tentacles. I got these because they matched the picture that the lady sent me, and what I did is I just took these that are like these little strips, these little sour strips,
And what I did is I just cut them, I'm pretty sure I cut them in half, and then I just cut them into little strips lengthwise. And that just made cute little tentacles that you can put onto your jellyfish. And these come in 3 different colors. It comes in red, green, orange, and blue. And this is kind of what they looked like once they were all cut up. I stuck them into a bowl, and these ones are a little bit dried out, so I might not use these ones, but I wanted to show you guys what they looked like. And I think they're super cute and perfect for little tentacles on a jellyfish. Okay, so our cake balls are completely hardened, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out some wax paper. This is just gonna make your life so much easier, I promise you. And we're going to lay out our little tentacles. I did 4 per cake ball. And this is how I decided to do it. I had no idea how they did it on the picture that the lady sent me. I tried it so many different ways, and this was the only way that I could really figure out how to get them stuck to the bottom of it, like that. And I'm gonna go get my cake balls. Okay, so now what we're going to do is this is a little bit tricky, but you can do it. I believe in you. So I didn't put any wax paper down on my plate, and so my cake balls stuck to the plate, so a little bit of the chocolate came off. So that's fine, because we're actually going to put a tiny bit of chocolate back onto these so that they can stick to the candies. So I'm going to put a little bit of chocolate on there, and then I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to put it right onto where those candies are, and kind of push down a little bit so that it can stick all the way. You can kind of slide your candies around to make sure that they stick. And I love the contrast of this pink against the green and the blue. I think it looks so cute, and they make for super cute pictures. These would be adorable for like a party favor if you have a kid's birthday coming up and they love SpongeBob, or if it's an under the sea themed party, then you can do that. And now we're just gonna let these harden for a couple of minutes so that we can make sure that when we pull them off, tentacles will still be stuck to the cake balls. All right, so I waited a couple of minutes, and I kind of pulled them off and set them back down on the wax paper so that they could have a flat surface, because as you can see, the chocolate kind of gathers at the bottom. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull them off, and as you can see, when you pull them off, the tentacles slowly start to fall and look like adorable little tentacles, and it's so cute. And you can leave them like this and draw on your little face if you want, or you can stick a stick back into them. You do have to be kind of careful though, so that you don't crack the chocolate, but that is what it looks like if you stick it back on the stick. And so now I'm going to draw on my little faces, and we will be done. I am just using red candy melts for this. You can use whatever you want, but I found that candy melts are the easiest because it hardens along with the rest of the chocolate. And so I'm just going to make my little faces. It's 2 dots, one bigger than the other. And there you have it. Isn't it so cute? They're not perfect. You can see cake showing through them. If I was making these for a client, they would look a lot better. But I'm having fun in the kitchen, and that is all that matters. And so I am all done. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys try it out yourself. And make sure you tag me in your recreations, because I always love to see them. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye!